1, 2, 3, 4. You want to sing Haribo for a little bit?
I don't know the words.
Just Haribo?
Just Haribo, none of the words.
Go to David Mahaprayada.
I don't care. I just don't know that. All I know is Haribo because they're all those Sanskrit words.
Why don't you sing Haribo just for 2 or 3 minutes? Just
yeah, but I don't know the words to it.
Just do Haribo.
I'll do it with
Just do Haribo. Just do Haribo. That's all. Haribo.
Okay.
Just do it.
Just do it. I don't care. Oh, you know that even the chorus, I don't remember the words to it. Something, something, something. Yeah, but I don't know.
Everybody, welcome back. Here we are. So, we're going to sing Hari Hari Bo for a few minutes. Lead us.
Just those words.
Yeah, right. I don't remember either.
This is a chant to the Guru, the larger Guru. It's a celebration of the givenness of the Guru. Yes.
Hari Hari Bo. 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 Hari Hari Bo.
Perfecto. Thank you so much. Can everybody hear with the air conditioner on? Is that okay for a little while? Okay. So, welcome everyone. And we'll focus in. Beautiful. So here we are, August. Yesterday was August 15th, was a great day for, it was a day of a celebration of the day that Swami Muktananda received the experience of Shaktipat, the awakening of awareness, from his teacher Bhagavan. And a very beautiful passage he writes about the awakening of this energy and the power of the light expanding and that sense of oneness in the world with all its variation. So, and that's one lineage that I belong to, and some of you do also. Because lineages always go from one person to another, And sometimes lineages appear in dreams. Many people have dreams, and they have an experience, and then later on it becomes meaningful. What it means, and we've been focusing. Is the air conditioner okay? Should we turn? Why don't we turn it off?
Yeah.
Yes, turn it off because it's driving me a little crazy. Heat is good, right? 5 love. So we've been focusing for the past period of time on 2 themes, actually, One is the Guru, and the other is Tantra. Nah, incidentally, they're not separate at all. Because the guru is Tantra, and Tantra is the guru. And so that's why the tantric practice is a form of relating to the guru and the gift of the guru, the givenness of the guru. and it's useful to know that. Though here the guru is not a person, the guru is primordial awareness itself, revealing itself in us, and it reveals itself through events and through people and through teachers, through exquisite, beautiful experiences and terrible experiences. There's this givenness. I'm going to do a little pause for 2 seconds about phenomenology, and then I'll get back. And we'll maybe once soon go through a little sequence of the nature of, truly the nature of phenomenology. But just briefly, there are different movements in phenomenology. And the first movement in the phenomenology was Husserl's movement, and hopefully this will make sense on how to understand the guru. The first movement on phenomenology was Husserl's, and it was primarily phenomenology as mind, how my mind understands and sees otherness, and how my mind constitutes otherness, and how I go about doing that. And so initially in his work there was a separation between subject and object. There was a form of idealism there where the mind creates everything, not primordial awareness, and that was one of the first forms of that. Then later he began to reconstitute it, but especially because of the influence of Heidegger's work, when then Heidegger comes along, his student, and says, yes, that way of knowing objects, or there's that microphone, and how I construct that in my mind, and that givenness, but there's something prior to that which is awareness. And it began making phenomenology, that distinction between awareness and mind. You'll find the same things in the Enigma tradition and the Dzogchen traditions. There's distinction between awareness and mind. You see it in most forms of experiential therapy, and you also see it in Jungian work, the difference between my mind and awareness. But Husserl started making that distinction because he understood with Husserl, the mind knows things. It was how I know things, how I create things, how I constitute thingness. Okay, and that's also puts subjectivity in a certain place. It's a rather transcendental state, kind of witnessing it all. Heidegger comes along and starts looking at the base of this mind, which is awareness, and how awareness experiences its own self, how awareness experiences mind, which is a form of mindfulness, but how awareness becomes aware of awareness. Then with that, you have the dawning of being itself. And so being starts manifestation. So you have the shift from phenomenology to being a eidos, how things, meaning is created in things, to the experience, how we begin to experience the beingness of being in everything and anything, that whole thing. I'm just doing it very briefly. There's a third movement by Marion. Marion is a very great, he's actually a very French Christian theologian who took the reduction one more step, and this reduction is a reduction of simply the givenness of being. The givenness of everything. Everything is just the manifestation, the self-manifestation of primordial awareness. And you'll hear the same thing in the Dzogchen teachings also. And so with that, you can just hear also, and when you plug in the word guru, you'll hear different forms of people think about the guru depending on what phenomenology you're operating from. Having said that, we'll pass and move on. Okay. You follow what I mean? That okay. So the guru is intrinsic to Tantra. I hope everyone's read the Tantric paper, The Nature of Awareness is Tantra. Raise your hands if you read that, okay? Please read it. I know you're busy, we're all busy, but I would like you to read that paper. And you don't have to agree with it, but read it. The second paper I'd like you to read is on the guru, the pure vision, and the pure vision of the guru, a phenomenology of bewilderment. I would like you to read that. Who's read that paper, okay? Please read that paper, okay? Hi, Karen. And That's if you really want to do this. Now, if you don't want to do it, you're just here for friendship, we'll just forget about the talks and have a few drinks and things like that, okay? A little music, it's going to be fun. Okay, so then, so Tantra and the experience of Tantra, which we've been working on, is intimately related to the Guru. The self-revelation of primordial awareness in our bodies. And the embodiment of this Guru is the embodiment of Tantra. And such great lamas of Namkhe Norbu and others focus a great deal on this issue of the Guru. You guys follow me? And so does Dusha Rinpoche. So I'm starting again on today's talk. We're going to go back to doing our tantric practice and the integrating of the sexual energy like we've been doing. And I know some people are having really exquisite experiences, which really, because if it works, you will have an experience, a qualitative experience that you've never had before. As you embody the life force energy in a particular way, using the sexual energy as the doorway to the life force, and that energy is now coming up the central channel. This all has to do with the central channel, okay? Raise your hands if you're understanding that so far. Okay, so let's just start off briefly. We're going back to Duja Yudroma, the wish-fulfilling Dakini of this text that was channeled by Longchenpa. And so now he says, forget about the first parts. Dzogchen always erases the beginnings. Huh? Let's just go right here to this part here. If we can find it, blah, blah. Here we go. Yes. So you guys lean into me, and I lean into you. And so we focus on this energy of awareness. And we think of the mantra Hari in the center of our chest, Maharanisa around that. And in front of us we experience, you don't visualize this stuff, but you sense this dark blue Vajravahari, this feminine energy. The anima, the anima of great bliss. You can feel it in a real person, or you can just sense it out of your own experience. And she has one face, and she, right in this moment of this excellent awareness, there's this pig's head signifying ignorance, Ma-rigpa. So you have Ma-rigpa and Rigpa in the very same moment. And this is indicating that this passage of revelation moves constantly from concealment to unconcealment to further unconcealment. And as there's unconcealment, there's still concealment. This process of guru, of revelation, self-revelation of the very nature of awareness and its manifestation in these different dimensions of our existence. And then she has the Draikon, this knife for cutting through phenomena and opening up everything and anything that we can experience the light of phenomena. The light of awareness echoes, resonates, pulls, opens the light of phenomena. And the Kapala, the cup of blood, or also Amrita, symbolizing the vital life force. So all these texts, in one way or other, also invoking the vitality of the life force. That's the third paper I like to read. There's one in the vital life force. So all three together. And then there's the Katava, the cane. It looks like she's got a stick she's walking, but that is a symbol of the column of light. And perhaps more, everyone is experiencing more or less this column of light through their bodies now. And then she dances, and as she moves, you can feel this expansion and pulsation of the light, and immeasurable light rays are rising out of her. And in this way, she is the primordial Guru, Guru Dakini, and the feminine dimension manifesting the light and opening up the experience of non-duality within dualities. Then there she's surrounded by other dakinis, and from the syllables, Maharinisa, light comes, and gathers, as light comes, it gathers energy, power, Shakti from the world, the elements, and beings, and the light collects and it dissolves into us again in our heart. We can bring this light in, bringing it in, magnetizing it, vitalizing it. Then we press the winds from the top to the bottom. If you want, you can put your fingers at your navel, or I put my wrist here sometimes, and you push the winds down to the root. Earth and root become connected, oneness. They actually get, and then we expand and gather the light as before. So we extend it before our chest. We're expanding out, so we're doing two things: pushing down. It's a kumbhaka, extending out into the room beyond, pulling the energies in. And then we draw breath in through the right nostril. So I put my finger on my left nostril. And it's not just breath, it's respiration. It's more subtle. And it's like a hook and a lasso. The dakinis always have hooks and lassos. That's what this is for. And it dissolves into light, and we gather into ourself. Breath, then energy, then light. Huh? And then we take the left nostril, so I touch the right nostril, and draw the breath, the respiration, through our entire body. Now we then meditate on this bliss and openness, sustaining it, condensing it. Huh? You're now, if you feel it underneath the dantian, same place we worked on this morning with Mr. Ma, containing the energy and light. And we'll sustain this for a while. And then we can also feel the resonance with each other at this level. So the resonance to awareness is more powerful than when we feel the resonance at this center. And we've been using this resonance at the different centers, the channels, to further open the field of being, and also open and bring forth the sexual element into the channel. Huh? Often the sexual element is either outside of the body or outside it as a sphere dissociated, or it can be even outside in a way that it organizes us more. So the channel's not, I'm being organized totally by that sphere. So that's why you want to integrate the spheres. This is not a question of celibacy or non-celibacy. It's beyond that. Huh? So after meditation, we understand that all phenomena is the manifestation of primordial awareness. Huh? And the nature of awareness is primal and primordial and liberating. And its nature is this self-arising experience. Then it says, don't meditate, do not create, relax in the natural state. They're saying that this is not a trance state, it is not an altered state, it's the natural state. And with this comes the primordial wisdom of equanimity and equality consciousness. And this is the complete basis of our nature. And this is completed by the wisdom wind. And again, the wind is this primordial element. It's like, not unlike the pneuma, that the Christian mystics speak about in the Jewish traditions. The pneuma, the wind, the breath of God arising and giving this to us. There's a basic givenness in all this. Then as we hold this, we can feel it still sustaining the kumbhaka, that space, opening up this body all the way up into the earth. And then if you want, you can feel the connection to the person you're with without making too many movements. You can pair up if you want to. Just can turn. And then all this is totally natural. And as we do this, we're invoking, because all this has the shamanistic invoking. We don't as much do visualization. We practice the invocation of that which is eminence. And it's within us. So there's a shift from a dissociative view to an embodied view. And there's a shift from a transcendental view, if you read the papers, you'll to a view of eminence. So rather than the archetypes being out there, right? They're not out there. They're not the holy other. They're completely within our embodied being. But just like our body itself is in the field of eminence, and our body itself, mind itself, is a manifestation of first primordial awareness, then the archetypical dimension and the elements manifest us. And so we're incarnating the elements and this archetypal dimension as the guru. Okay? Say yes if that's making sense. You don't have to do this if you don't want, but this is how many of the tantrics practice. They invoke the guru. Huh? As you're invoking the guru, you allow yourself to be the guru. You allow yourself to be the guru right now. You allow yourself to be the guru's mind. Doesn't mean you're a person's mind other than yourself. You allow yourself to be the guru's mind. You allow your breath to be the guru's breath. You allow the openness to be the openness of the guru. You allow your knowingness to be the knowingness of the guru. You invoke that as you. And then I'm going to read two practices briefly, if I can find them. Yes. But at first I'm going to do one from Dorjim Rinpoche's practice of the lake-born Vajra Pamasambhava, the secret accomplishment of the great Guru. Stabilizing herself, and you're doing this with the other. It's a co-emergent process. And then this text says, Namo. In this indestructible, original nature, just as it is. So now, in this original nature of the Guru, just as it is. And in this sphere, SPHRE, of the great Bindu of blue light, or clear light. So you're now invoking that. You are the sphere. And in this unchanging, innate, ultimate deity, I take refuge within this self-nature as it is. I'm taking refuge within this self-nature as it is. This ultimate deity, this Bindu of light, and this indestructibleness, Vajrakamara, unborn, undying. And then it says, cultivating the sublime enlightened awareness, luminous awareness, and seeing form through the discursive duality. So through duality, there's your companion. Through duality, you experience the form or the sense of the Guru there. Then it says, in the realm of sentient beings, appearances are doorways into the light. So all appearances are openings, like iconic openings into luminosity. All appearances are in oneness with awareness. Or every appearance, to use Mirpam's words, every appearance is being itself, manifesting the appearance. So there's this doubleness, appearance and being itself. And you're experiencing being itself through all the appearance, through the companion who you're with right now. Then it makes this wonderful statement, Rarig Chen Porn Ronama, in the one taste of great self-awareness. This is very tantric. In this one taste. So everything at a certain moment can have one taste. Pain, pleasure, happiness, suffering, appearance, loss. At this level of non-duality, of being, manifesting, you're experiencing the one taste, which is being itself, manifesting these different experiences, these different sensations, opening. Say yes if you understand that. So then it says, I give rise. So now we're giving rise. We're giving that opening of arising, and even that invocation of arising of the bodhicitta, of this all-pervasive self-liberation, that the great compassion is liberation itself. And our capacity to extend the energy and the light to each other is liberating, both for us and for others. And then it says, from this sphere, S-P-H-E-R-E, the nature of this openness, there's this nature of primordial openness, there's purity, the purity, kadig, pure openness. And there's compassion's radiance. So it's pure openness, the pure space, and yet there's radiance. There's this conjunctio, the symbol, they're in oneness, radiance and spaciousness, radiance and emptiness, potentiality, creating everything and anything. And then it says, Rag, Rig, Rai, and it says, all this appears as my own awareness. So I'm experiencing all this manifestation as primordial awareness, manifesting this, but it is my own awareness. There's no differentiation between the awareness that's hearing this and speaking this and primordial awareness itself. I'm dissolving the dissociation between my experience of awareness and primordial awareness. That developmental dissociation that takes place as we grow and we leave baby gnosis behind. And all this appears as my own awareness. And this letter Hri, the seed mantra, light radiates forth from it into everything. And as the light radiates, it opens the entire universe and all sentient beings into clear light. So the power of our own awareness is it resonates as we connect intimately. It opens us and others into the light. Just like when Swami Muktananda received that experience with his teachers, Bhagavan Nityananda, the light came through and he felt this primordial openness. And then he began that practice, awakening awareness relationally. Then he makes this statement. This is Dwaj Rinpoche. All objective appearance or Dzogchen Pema. And Dzogchen Pema is the name of Padmasambhava in the Namanikaya form. He has a certain outfit. So all appearances are the guru. All appearances, one begins to experience all phenomena and all appearances as the guru. Openings. Non-duality. And in the center of this perfect palace, and always our life world is a palace, and it's also a charnel ground. In this perfect palace, like right here, right now, with all the characteristics of a palace, there is this lotus, and this lotus is a live symbol. You can enter it, and it's a symbolization of liberation within circumstances of our mind and circumstances of our situation. There's the opening of self-liberation, that we're not contained by the circumstance. And then there's the sun, the light of the sun, the fire of the sun, this luminous, fiery intensity that metabolizes everything and anything and can be used to dissolve experience and also bring to life. It is the life force itself. And there's also the moon, which is this. It's like the maternal love. Totally soft. And we can practice extending those. Then there's the syllable Hari, instantly transforms into our self-nature. So the syllable that seemed otherness at first now opens up as our own self-nature. And as our own self, as the guru, it becomes the immortal Totriksao. There's a Sambhogakaya level of the guru, and he's dressed in a different outfit, but we are now the Sambhogakaya guru. That means that all these different levels of existence, Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Dharmakaya, are actually the guru, and we're embodying these different dimensions. So we're embodying the archetype of the guru, That it's like an empowerment. We're embodying that empowerment, that we can have that empower of experiencing the self-revelation within ourself of our very nature, but also participate in the great compassion, which is that same practice, liberation, with everyone and anyone. And then appears at this moment the rosy white complexion, youthful form, smiling wrathfully and compassionate and youthful and sensual. And here we've seen the guru as this young person and with this youthful sensuousness. and and here the guru archetype, I'll make a little comment. There's different archetypes around the guru. Sometimes it's the Senex. It's the old person. It's the old guy. And one time I read you a couple of weeks ago, Swami Muktananda making fun of the old guy with the beard. You with me? Though he happened to be an old guy with a beard also. Because the alliance, the joining, is the archetype Senex as the puer. And in archetypical thinking, sometimes the puer gets a bad rap. The puer eternus. Am I still in the same ballpark? And there's different, all these things have different qualities. But in these texts, the puer, the youthful, unborn, undying youth, you with me? Usually they're 16 and 17 years old, you with me? But that is where it is not the Senex image as the guru, but the youthful, unborn, undying youthfulness. Like David, Like David. Say yes if you're following this. And it's sensual because the energy, the sexual energy, has been embodied through the sensual channel. As the sexual energy is embodied in the channel, then rather than discharge being the way we self-regulate, right? It's the power of attunement that begins to bring forth how we self-regulate. Then, holding a vajra and skull cup in his two hands. So now with this form, this masculine form, there's also feminine forms too, as we know, right? So holding a vajra, the vajra is this symbol here, if I can find it. Where's my vajra? Okay, anyway. Symbol of indestructibleness, and the skull cup, the Amrita, the life force, Indestructible life force. Thank you so much over there, Vajra. Now, say yes if you're understanding. So there's you're starting to understand the image of the guru as the unborn, indestructible awareness, which is very central in this undertaking. As to the degree that you and I experience that, the fear of annihilation, anxiety begins to dissolve. And he sits with his two legs fully crossed, and then Mandara, that's his companion, the feminine dimension of the guru, who is his own radiance. So you can understand that the radiance is the feminine dimension. So the radiance is space and radiance, and the radiance is the feminine dimension. And as they mix within us, and we'll practice this, and Jung I always like to, because Jung has the same parallels in his work. As you and I unify within our bodies the masculine and feminine energies, then with that comes the conjunctio of a realization at another level. Say yes if you understand that. And we were practicing that last week where we were drawing the energy from each other. Those of you who remember that over here. So they sit in this union with holding an arrow and long life vase. And the arrow is a symbol of a long life. You'd like to have an arrow when you shoot it. It has a very long, long apex and not just doesn't drop too soon, right? Because a long life is a great gift to have in order to, for the drama of compassion to be maintained. And the long life vase has the same symbol. And they're wearing various silks and precious jewels and adorned with tiger skins and ornaments of bone. So it's both very exquisitely beautiful and primitive at the same time. There's a primitiveness in this practice. Say yes if you understand what I'm saying. And then the lighting within this expanse, there's this arising in us and through us in the couple is this garland of rainbow light rays. So all the light is shining and we can feel that light, and it's an experience. If you're just believing it, not so good. So now the commitment and primordial beings are indivisible. This is saying that the symbolic function and the primordial experience are exactly the same. So you and I start off with a symbolic function, and some of this is a symbolic function. You know, you become the guru symbolically, and but now it's being actualized in you with immediacy, that there's no difference between the symbolic function and the actuality. Say yes if you understand what that means. So then it moves on, and it says, in the heart center, and everything's from the Udayam, there's this tent of light. And in the center is the golden Vajra. And wherever this gold, the golden light, is always a symbol of the Guru. And sometimes you see this, you'll see the golden light be in a room or a person or in your own body. And there's this luminous seed symbol, Hari, and it's rosy white. And again in the heart center, there's often either golden light or this rosy white light. And this rose light, mwah, is a sign of pure love. Pure love, the rosy white light. And it's encircled by a mantra rosary from which light rays radiate forth. Making, and it sends its energy to all the victorious ones we know, all the great yogis and people and relatives and everyone you know who has that quality of being a victorious person, you know, what that means for you. Courage. And then from them come the blessings. That's why when we extend to our ancestors, the blessings can arise. Huh? And then this dissolves the obscurations of beings and placing them in bliss. So that this drama of this manifestation of this light actually helps dissolve the obscurations of beings and placing them in bliss. And this is a practice we can do with each other. So all life and virtue and the essential vitality of samsara and nirvana, going back to vitality, the essential vitality of samsara and nirvana are in oneness. And we begin to experience the light as a form of nectar. And then this dissolves into the meditative concentration of our bodies, like the heart drops. We can extend that to each other now if you wish. And it dissolves. It's radiance. It's like liquefied radiance. Huh? And then it permeates the body. So that all that appears is now the deity. So whatever you see is the deity, is the Guru. And all sound is the mantra, and all thoughts are within the innate nature of truth. And truth meaning the revelation of the essence. And all this becomes the play of the great bliss of primordial wisdom gnosis. Om Mahung Vajraguru Pamasiri Hum. And in the great clear light of the deity appears without conceptualization. That means now what I'm experiencing, I have no concepts. I'm experiencing it without conceptualization. So the mind disappears and we're in the experience of the divine manifestation. And then it says, gently rest in the expanse of this original purity, this kadig. And purity doesn't mean my thoughts are pure, my body's pure, all my habits are pure, I'm a pure good guy. No. Purity means that this awareness is totally pure, no matter what. And if I can see this in the other, no matter what, the mysterious conjunction will take place. So once again, like the appearance of a rainbow in the sky, this awakens the mudra of my body and my speech and my mind. And I offer all this to the experience of non-conceptual knowingness. I'm knowing beyond my mind. I'm not knowing because of belief. I'm knowing because I'm experiencing it right now. And then I remain inseparable from the Guru. And this originally pure nature that I'm invoking is beyond my mind. And this primordial wisdom, this gnosis, is spontaneously accomplished and given to me. I'm invoking the Guru, and yet the Guru is giving me this experience. The givenness of awareness. And it says, may the good fortune of great bliss prevails. And then we can think of this as good fortune. Doesn't depend what tradition you're in whatsoever, In this tradition, Dzogchen, as Namkhe Norpa would so often say, doesn't belong to any tradition. And each tradition, there can be manifestations of this non-dual understanding of wisdom. We can stay with that for a moment. And now I'm going to give you another practice, which we all know. And this is the practice from the Durjam Nondro. And this is calling the Lama from afar. Everybody okay with this? You're getting something here, we see. So this is called calling the Lama from afar. It's actually one of my favorite practices of Guru Yoga. Now these are more complicated because the real experience of Guru Yoga is simply the understanding of the Guru as the light of your own awareness. And begins this way. This essence, primordially unchanging, the innate nature, this innate nature, it dwells as the youthful Vaspati. Again, this doesn't depend on what age you are, but it's going back to the youthful Vaspati, a puer symbolization, the originally pure and its profound light. See if we can feel that. Unborn, undying. And then it says, Dharmakaya Lama. We're going to do the same thing. We're invoking the Guru or the Lama as the different dimensions of our existence, or the three kayas. And every human being has 3 dimensions to their existence, and the world has 3 dimensions to existence. But if we're in mind alone, that experience is foreclosed, right? Or if I've dissociated myself from awareness, and I'm in mind alone, I'm not going to have access to this. So it says, Dharmakaya Lama, Yeshe Dorje, wisdom indestructible. Then it says this phrase, you who know. Dharmakaya Lama, Yeshe Dorje, you who know. You who know means gnosis. Because all this stuff is a tautology, right? So you who know is gnosis. Make sense? Yes. You who know, gnosis. Please grant the blessings to experience great confidence in this view. Of what am I experiencing? I want confidence and the certitude of experience. Huh? I want to be beyond doubt. And so the nature, unceasing, it's conjoined, and it's a configuration of luminous clarity. So the archetypical dimension is configurations of fields. So I'm feeling the field of this nature of luminous clarity. My mind may be thinking one thing, but I'm experiencing it in and through the field of this light. And this dwells as the manifestation of the spontaneously present moment of certainty. So I'm in my experience, not my mind. Mind is doubt and awareness. Certainty. And then it says, Sambhogakaya Lama. So the Guru at the Sambhogakaya level, the archetypical level, great bliss, Dejan Dorje, indestructible bliss. You who know, gnosis, huh? De Kenyo no, you who know. Please grant the blessing to perfect, or to complete, this ability of meditation. And then it says, this compassion that is coming to us without bias, primordial wisdom, free from limitations. Huh? It's actually freeing me from prejudice. And this dwells, and the indwelling, as the essence of all-pervading, naked awareness, openness. So I feel in my body this awareness, pervasive awareness, this openness, this emptiness, this pure potentiality. Then it says, Nirmakarana Lama, the Guru as ordinary existence. Druko Lingpa, it means liberator of beings. Huh? You who know, gnosis, huh? Direct perception. Please grant the blessings to accomplish action. So this is not a passive thing, but the experience of actually having the completion of action. One of the Buddha's fields is the power of completion of action. You're invoking completion of action. Huh? The primordial ground, this primordial ground, it's the ground of being, huh? The ground of one's own awareness is unchanging, unmoving. So the primordial ground is our own awareness. It's not like I have to get to it. So whatever arises then out of this awareness is an expression of the Dharmakaya, and it's neither good or bad. Whatever arising out of primordial awareness itself and out of my own awareness itself is neither good or bad. So at this point, I am getting beyond right and wrong, good and evil, better and best, and even truth and falsity. At this level of perception, which is awareness. And I'm experiencing the manifestation of everything as being itself. Then as it infuses my mind, I will get very more clarity. So I have this vision of both being beyond good and evil, and yet I'm in the world where it is the manifestation of good action and terrible action. So I will have both. The primordial awareness gives me the knowledge of non-duality, and yet it also opens up the clarity of duality. Do you follow what I mean by that? Simultaneously. Then it says this: since awareness of nowness is actually the Buddha. So here we are. This awareness of nowness is actually the Buddha. And the completely free, serene Lama is revealed as our own innermost heart. Takes a little courage to really own that, huh? Boldness. And when this original awareness is realized as the very nature of the Lama, the very nature of the Guru, there's no need for whining, contrived prayers made with graspingness and desperation. And by letting go into this free, natural flow of this uncontrived awareness, this field of being, and not holding whatever arises, the blessings of self-liberation is experienced. And through the fabricated practice, you have to be careful with fabricated practice. So if I'm doing this practice right here at this moment and it's fabricated, I'm wasting time pissing in the wind. If I'm doing this practice and these words because I feel I love them and I feel what they're manifesting, then that's really cool. So through fabricated practice, there's no time to achieve enlightenment. This meditation produced through mental analysis and intellect alone and belief alone is a deceiving enemy. So conceptualization falls apart with the abandonment of a madman, and let this life be spent in the state of uninhibited naked ease. And whatever one does, joyfully, practitioner of the great perfection, in any company happy, lineage son and daughter of the lotus born. Then it says this: protector without rival. So as you invoke the Guru, that is the protection, that is the great protection. And to have that knowingness is really liberating from fear. The great treasure revealing Lama. And here it's saying that the Guru will give you understanding. And even though you're not an official treasure revealer, a terma, you will get understanding from the Guru. Say yes if you understand that. You will get direct understanding. You will hear it as your own voice. You will have direct understanding. Very important. Then it says, teachings beyond compare, heart essence of the Dakinis, having dispelled the heart's darkness, the dissolving Marigpa, the undiminished sun of luminous clarity shines continuously. And this good fortune that I'm having is the very kindness of the Lama, the only Father. Unrepayable kindness. Remember the Lama. Remember the Guru. That's that one. So with that, we're now prepared. And so let's focus with each other. And I'm going to turn off the instructions now, because